Welcome you guys to the Chapter 4 overview of the Dquad Fixation Tournament in your favorite FPV simulator, my favorite FPV simulator, Liftoff. That's right, we're done with 4 chapters of pilots all over the world competing against each other for frames and spares every month, along with a year-long sponsorship for the pilot who takes it all away in chapter number 12. We're going to talk about the details of that sponsorship, the details of the prizes, and do some head-to-head battles all over the leaderboard with pilots who've been neck and neck with each other and provided us with some absolutely fantastic racing action. We're on board right now with the winner, Finzi FPV. 2 chapters in a row he's managed to pull the win out, and this time he's only 0.06 seconds ahead of G-Man himself. We are gonna take a look at their battle. We're gonna take a look at other people we've been following like FPV Fly and Revu. We've got Zrul77, we've got Baz, we've got a whole lot of great pilots to spotlight today in the community spotlight. Your boy Abdul is gonna keep bringing you these great overviews. You guys keep doing your great flying. Here we go. The Dquad Fixation Chapter 4 tournament had a first place prize of 2 fixation frame kits, 4 spare arms, 1 top plate, 1 bottom plate, 1 main plate, 2 TPU flip fins, 2 TPU Foxier micro lollipop antenna mounts, 2 TPU camera mounts, and you can choose the color of all of your mounts along with free worldwide shipping. Every Liftoff player can of course only win this prize. 1 second place gets a fixation frame kit, a TPU flip fin, TPU Foxier micro antenna mount, and a TPU camera, and places 1 to 3 also have a chance to win a 2023 Liftoff Champions badge, 1 per person. So even if other people have won it and you wind up in a lower position, you could come back up again and still take away one of those prizes. The top prize, the prize that everyone is vying for in chapter 12. Let's go over some of those details right now. So after 11 chapters, the scores of the top pilots will be tabulated. The top 10 pilots in every chapter will be assigned points. Number 1 will get 10 points, number 2 will get 9, and so on. The top 10 pilots with those points at the end of 11 chapters will vie it out in a special live championship event hosted on your favorite FPV simulator, Liftoff, by your boy Abdul, and they will compete for the prize of a year-long sponsorship from Dquad themselves. That means that you will get to be a team pilot featured on their website along with top pilots around the world. You'll have that pride to be able to say you are a team pilot sponsored by a real drone manufacturer. Additionally, you will also be receiving 5 frames, 13 arms, 3 main plates, 3 top plates, and 3 bottom plates, and a Dquad t-shirt, all to make sure that you are sorted for an entire year's flying. And if you somehow manage to break all of these, you will be provided frames either at cost or maybe even free if you've been doing some absolutely fantastic flying for the client. So that means that this could mean your ticket not just for pride, not just for being in position with the lead pilots around the world as a Dquad team pilot, but also have enough frames for the rest of the year. And significant, given that Armatan makes these frames for Dquad, I think they'd last for a whole lot longer than a year. Those are the prizes that we are vying for, and all you have to do is make it to chapter 12, make it to that live event when it's one and done. When what matters more than your skill is your nerves on the day, and we simulate those real world rail race feelings in our favorite FPV simulator, Liftoff. That's what we did in chapter 4 as well. We've been going through with G-Man's run after we went through Finzi's there on the side. Let's start taking a look at some of the people lower down in our leaderboard in kind of like our bronze league, because we've got some great head-to-head battles there. Let's take a look at those and then we'll jump into the battles at the top of the leaderboard. But first, with our man Zen Q placing number 55 out of 350 pilots all over the world. Let's take the quick overview of how the track went. That was the balloon trigger, which was, I'm sure, very triggery for G-Man, given that he really doesn't like those weird sky triggers. Let me know if it's triggering category for you down in the comments below. We start with this sneaky little straight where he misses a gate. This is why we wanted to feature ZenQ, because look at that, despite making an error, he keeps going and manages to place number 55 in the world. There are so many runs that I wasted. I personally, your boy Abdul, wasted simply because I made that error. Great to see someone sticking with it and getting a position out of it as well. Here we go, through the sneaky straightaway in the start, into a really hard right, into a sharp ascent to the triggery balloon trigger, which he misses again, but still keeps going. Great commitment by ZenQ. Into another straightaway before you have to go through the forest. The champs took a couple of different lines through there. Here we go now over to the battle between Zedrul77 and Gozer. This is the battle for number 50 and number 51. You can see that they're really not that close to each other right now. Gozer way out into the lead and Zedrul bringing up the rear of the pack. It's really interesting to see how 3 laps later that changes. Now this strategy through the trees that we just saw Zedrul go wide through the big open part is something that was done differently at the top of the leaderboards. We're going to feature that once we get to taking on those head-to-head battles. But you see, he's still got a lot of ground to cover. He's missed that gate. He's made an error, but he really made a quick fix and he's going on back through. Gozer has also made an error, but he's not able to make it such a quick fix, allowing Zedrul to not to quite take the lead, but to get right onto his tail. And as they go over that balloon trigger, Zedrul does it that much cleaner, manages to get ahead. They trade positions again, going through the trees twice. Zedrul winds up with the win. Very exciting dogfight. Very exciting dogfights all over the leaderboards. If you guys have an exciting incident like a miss, you miss a gate and you still get a great time, or you feel that you were really close to someone, shout it out to us in the Liftoff Discord, and we'll be sure to feature you in another one of these chapter overviews. Let's jump over to another great dogfight. The battle for places 52 versus 53, Schmitty D, FPV versus Baz. Here we go. The start of the race also different on the top and middle of our leaderboards. We'll see at the top of the leaderboards how both of the leaders took a power loop start. Now Baz and Schmitty D pretty close to one another. They can still see each other's tails, but Schmitty is way out in front of the pack. Now mind you, Schmitty finishes third in this pack of 5, and right now he's just second. So positions change over the course of the race. You got to make sure that you keep your consistency. That is another thing we will see at the top of the leaderboards. Baz with a long drop down there and really far behind, but we're going to see him make up some positions there. The leader made an error in front of Schmitty D, allowing Baz and Schmitty D to pass them both. He's made it past ahead of Baz in the green streak over there, and Schmitty's made an error on top of the balloon, allowing Baz to catch up now and pull ahead by that much at the end of the dive after the balloon. You never know when things can change hands. You never know when the race can absolutely turn around. That's why you've always got to keep going for it. Never give up. That's how you get to the top of the leaderboards. Speaking of the top of the leaderboards, let's reach on up a little bit higher and see what we can find. Now at the tippy top of the leaderboard, the battle for number 3 versus number 4. Revu versus FPV Fly. Revu pulling out a number 3 position with just his second tournament flying a 6S quad, and really his first tournament flying a full power 6S quad. Absolutely fantastic runs here. You can see that Fly is on his tail like glue. They're absolutely stuck to one another. He takes the lead. They're trading positions constantly as the track goes on, but look at the consistency. There are no missed gates at this level of competition, and that is what G-Man has taught us in his interviews. You can go back and take a look at the great chapter 3 interview that he said, in which he points out, just keep it clean, just keep it going. You never know when the guy ahead will make a mistake and let you forward. Look at both of these guys though, no room for error. Cutting different strategies. Revu cutting it high, FPV Fly cutting it low and then going wide through the outside, Revu going through the inside. Very interesting race strategies and such amazingly close dogfights. Remember that you can turn ghosts on during practice so that you can get the feel of this competition and see exactly where the guy ahead of you is getting ahead of you, so that you can get ahead of him. We've got one more great battle to look at. Let's look at the battle right at the top of the leaderboard. G-Man versus Finzi. That one we're going to have to watch in 25% because woof, you blink and it's over. Here we go. G-Man versus Finzi. Now the immediate difference you will see is, look at both of them. They get a power loop start. So they get that bit of a run up going into that first gate and getting just that teeny tiny itty bitty bit out. Remember, there's only 0.06 seconds between the two of these pilots. That's not a lot. And when those are the margins that you're fighting for, you want to take advantage of every little bit that you've got. Now they both had a similar strategy going over the balloon, cutting that right hand corner, but Finzi goes high and G-Man goes a little lower on the tower. You see G-Man ahead there. You'll actually see G-Man was ahead throughout the race all the way up to pretty much the last turn. There you go, you can see him in Finzi's feed on the left there. Finzi keeping it tight. Now that's very non-intuitive. Usually G-Man is the one that we see having a super tight line, and we've seen Finzi being a lot more aggressive and thereby being a little wider in the first 3 chapters. This time we see Finzi, look at him, look at how tall he is at the tower there, right at the top of the antennas, and G-Man was down by the satellite dishes. He's a lot tighter. That satellite dish pass is a difference in their line, and other than that, look at him. He takes the lead right at the end of the lap, and then boom, G-Man manages to pull ahead again. Finzi closer to the tree, G-Man farther away by just a couple of feet. Like, this is 0.06 seconds we're talking between them. It's not a lot of difference. They're right on top of one another. Drones constantly flitting by. If this was real world, they'd have had a bunch of collisions, which is why you should always keep flying, because you never know when, even if you're racing with Captain Vanover, someone else flies into the back of his squad and you wind up winning. So never say die. Always keep going. Woof! What fantastic pilot battles we had through chapter 4 of 12. Chapter 4 of 12, there's still 8 more chapters to go, and chapter 5 has God mode enabled. Just by the way, you guys, it is live right now at the time that you're watching this video till the end of the month of November, which is when chapter 6 will start. Go on in there, get your times in, and hey, if you want to be featured on an upcoming episode of the chapter overview posted on official Liftoff, get pilots around the world to give notes on your flying style, point out what you can do better, thereby making you a better pilot, get in touch via the Liftoff Discord, and your boy Abdul will hook you up. You, the community, are what make Liftoff my favorite simulator, your favorite simulator, and we want to give that love back to the community by spotlighting you guys. Thank you so much to all the 350 pilots who took part in chapter 4, to the hundreds of more than 1,000 pilots which have now taken part in the first 3 chapters, and the hundreds of pilots which are lining up for the prizes and the pride to be won in chapter number 5. I hope to see you guys again in just a few weeks, but before that I hope to see you on the leaderboard in chapter number 5. Get yourself on there. I will catch you guys in the next one. This is your boy Abdul signing out. Alright, this is a recording and script check. Take 1. This is take 2. Here we go. Take 3. So after 11 chapters of competition, the scores will be tabulated up. All 10 top 10